So, any preppers here tonight? You guys familiar with this? Those people who hoard canned food and guns and toilet paper, so they're ready for the collapse of civilization. Whether it's the failure of the dollar, or a worldwide pandemic, or natural disaster, or zombies. I was in Barnes & Noble a while ago and I saw a glossy magazine with a machine gun on the cover. And it gave advice on how to build your home arsenal for killing zombies. And I have to assume someone's buying these, that a demand has been identified. Preppers? Maybe it's just the people with leftover crap from the Y2K scare, and they need a new excuse for hoarding. I have some friends who are into it, and they share some commonalities, which I do not. They're generally fit, hard workers. They can fix cars or build shit out of wood. They have expertise in farming or gardening, in guns. They hunt and fish. If the apocalypse comes, they'll be much more useful than I will. I'm a little delicate. I majored in English. I'm a vegetarian. I've never fired a gun or a crossbow. The word soft comes to mind. I'll be that guy looking up survivalist compound on Google Maps. Hon, my phone doesn't work. Can I try yours? One of these friends told me once that I could provide usefulness as a teacher. That was nice of him to say, but it's a farce. And I love teachers, I really do. If I had better people skills, if I was organized, if I was patient at all, I'd probably be a teacher. But come on. If civilization has collapsed, there's no power, there's no infrastructure, and we're eating each other, are there really going to be classified listings in Survivalist Monthly for teachers? I've read Deliverance. I know how this shit happens. My buddy and I will be out in the woods collecting berries, and a guy in a tree shoots him through the neck with a crossbow. And it's such a hard and clean shot, the arrow goes right through. Now my friend is not only dead, but he's going to be cannibalized. You don't shoot a dude from a tree with a crossbow unless you're going to eat him, right? Dude jumps down to the ground, he's got that 1,000-yard stare. He's wearing animal fur. He's going to use my friend's skull as a fence post topper to intimidate anyone foolhardy enough to try and attack on his mud hut. He's going to make a necklace out of his teeth. He's going to use a skin to make a blanket for his son. An animal fur man and his cannibal family will be huddled around a small fire later. Dog chewing on a human femur. The young son warm in his new skin blanket. And I'll be there, teaching them how to conjugate verbs. So, in this world that I've painted, theoretically, the unskilled, like myself, could contribute to the rebuilding of civilization by performing the duties of breeders. Not me, though. A few months ago, I had my second vasectomy. Second. Not for the reason you might think. Not because I had one, changed my mind, had it reversed, and had one later. I had a second one because the first one didn't work. It's quite rare, but it happens. I can attest to that. Now, you guys understand how a vasectomy works. The vas deferens is cut, and when the sperm come barreling out, they just fall into the abyss. Pretty simple. Get inside, make a cut, done. When a vasectomy fails, one of two things happens. The vas somehow fuses back together, or the sperm somehow bridge the gap. My doctor actually used this term, bridge the gap. I spent many hours thinking about this, as you can imagine. The first possibility is intriguing. It's like a love story. It's like a worm torn apart, the two new smaller worms trying to wiggle their way back to each other. Or it's like that Michelangelo painting where God's finger and Adam's finger are about to touch, moving resolutely toward each other. Was this divine intervention? Did the hands of God reconnect my vase? I know Jesus was a carpenter. Did he do plumbing on the side? Do I have to become all churchy now? Man, would that suck. I even like talking to those people. I decided I like the second possibility better. It's more dramatic. I mean, who wouldn't want Evel Knievel sperm, right? Woo-hoo! Made it! Right in the hole! It's like blowing up the Death Star. Little proton torpedoes in the thermal exhaust ports. I think that bears repeating. My sperm blew up the Death Star. Then I thought about, who are my sperm more like? Luke Skywalker? Evel Knievel? I'm going with a combination of both. I'm a little surprised I even made it back for the second vasectomy. It's not enjoyable, any of it. I remember looking at the brochure in the doctor's office during my initial consultation. There's a picture of a guy in recovery mode, sitting in a chair, blanket on, feet up, wife's bringing him chips. He looks about 60, fat, balding, kind of looks like a sad Tony Soprano. I thought, couldn't they make the guy a little attractive? Make me feel a little better. And he's holding out one of his chips. I remember this vividly in the office. Holding out one of his chips, studying it, really thinking about it. And I'm thinking, no one's fucking this guy. Does he even bother? So I'm sitting in the office, I'm looking at this picture, I'm not listening to the doctor at all. And sorry. He's wearing one of those sateen button-up shirts from Kohl's from like 10 years ago. You guys know the shirts, the cheap, boxy shirts that old dudes wear, or like dudes that live with their mom. Black and gray with the stripes, kind of shiny. It's horrible. Just a horrible thing. And I'm looking at this and I can't focus at all, and I'm not listening at all. And I'm just obsessing about this shirt. Like, I'm going to become this guy. It's inevitable, right? So I blurt out in the doctor's office, do I have to wear that shirt? Is that part of the recovery? Another thing I remember from this consultation is all the medical euphemisms. Doctors like those, I've found. The type of procedure I was going to have is called a keyhole vasectomy. Oh, it sounds nice, right? It sounds gentle, easy. What this means is that instead of using a scalpel to slice open the scrotum, the doctor uses a small clamp to punch a hole. It's supposed to be less traumatic, right? He's telling me this, I was supposed to feel better about it. But what I heard was, my balls are going to be punctured by a metal clamp. Punctured. No one wants to think about their scrotum being punctured. It's a hole in my balls. Do I really care about the size of the hole? Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming out.